Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to our annual presentation where we showcase brand new, never-before-seen trailers, devlogs, gameplay showcases, and more, all centered around the monster taming or creature collecting genre. Today is our 4th Monster Taming Direct, this time for 2025, so please make sure to share the video on various social media platforms. You can use the hashtag Monster Taming Direct or Monster Taming Direct 2025 in order to help us continue to push the genre further and extend the reach of this presentation as a whole. I've worked with dozens of developers over the years, and I can tell you that the more support we get on these videos, the more devs will be motivated to participate, thus making the Direct even better year after year. This year we've received by far the most applications, around 130 to be exact, and it's become very clear to me that things are getting more and more competitive in the monster taming genre as a whole, with brand new innovative games appearing left, right, and center. The Monster Taming Direct has also caught enough eyes to where we are now sponsored this year by Valorware, the 9th Dawn developers, and Crazy Goat Games, the devs behind Tamer. I'll preface this by saying that we've added a little bit of extra time to the Direct this year just to accommodate this, and these were very carefully selected from a ton of potential offers because I believe in what they're doing with their games. Anyways, much like years prior, we have some staple names this year that you might remember us teasing on the channel, including Coromon, Lumentale, Bagdex, Monster Crown Sin Eater, and a whole lot more. We've also got a ton of brand new games that really surprised me, even though I'm the monster taming guy. These are games that I've never heard of. Let's kick things off with our first set of games, starting with a game that Digimon World 3 fans are probably going to start salivating over once it plays.
Mas eu sei quem sou. A chama acende e o medo apagou. The power's inside, I feel it rise. Vamos monsters, o nosso tempo chegou. Lado a lado ninguém nos parou. Com força e coração vamos além. A vitória nos espera, só
Spirit and V-Monsters are definitely games that I had never seen until they applied, and I was very pleasantly surprised by their existence. Don't forget to wishlist any game you find interesting during the Direct. If you're watching live, I'll be spamming the Steam page links in the live chat, or if you're watching after, check the pinned comment. Next, we're going to be taking the genre back to its roots, whether it be the old school DDS Megami Tensei games, Dragon Quest Monsters, the original Pokemon, Red and Green, etc. It's no secret that monster taming has its beginnings as an extension of the RPG genre, even if now it's become its own thing. That said, next up we got some RPGs that I think some of you guys will definitely want to check out.
You just saw the Overworld trailer for the upcoming Yami Kids. In Yami Kids, the Overseer intervenes to save your life. However, she can't save your guardian or your sibling, who ends up haunting you for most of the game. And yet, there is no stopping fate or your demise. The Overworld, the land of the living, and then there's the Underworld, the land of the dead. To find out more about the Underworld, and to help us bring this project to life, visit us on Kickstarter, where we'll discuss stretch goals such as Nuzlocke modes, a battle tower, and console ports. You can also wishlist the game on Steam. Thanks, and have a great rest of the show.
Hey guys, I'm Barry Bandit. My channel focuses on monster taming games, especially niche and undiscovered titles that deserve more attention. Today, I'll introduce a selection of games you may not have heard of yet that have the potential to become leaders in the genre.
What if there was an RPG where you play as this animal, the kangaroo? You are a sheep named Lammy-Poo, and your job is to save the world. The evil wizard Thundergoober has exploded your home, Tuscany, with a huge bolt of lightning. You've got to rebuild your village, find all your cousins, and bring them back home to Lama. You have a whole button dedicated to going ba, and depending on how you press it, there are a lot of different ways to ba. This is an important mechanic, trust me. You'll meet a lot of really weird RPG enemies like this ugly, disgusting squirrel. Take them on in bullet hell, fast-paced combat, mostly because turn-based was too difficult to program for me. But wait, if you're like a vegetarian or something, you can actually make friends with him instead of exploding his skull with your hooves, and he'll join your party. Yes, nearly every enemy in this game can be gaslit into being friends with you, complete with their own battle abilities, stats. They're all different characters. You can even shiny hunt them. Befriending enemies is not always easy though, because sometimes it's all weird mechanics, like it's one of those, like this is one of those games with all the little games inside of it, you know what I mean? This makes it fun though, it's actually good. This is a good thing. Okay, there are two different kinds of friends. Sidekicks who are really strong and unique and have story arcs and you gotta like make friends with them, but less important friends are the random encounters. If they die, they stay dead forever, unless you reload your save, but I mean, you know. Okay, back to the story. To choose your own adventure games, you can basically do whatever you want. You know, be the hero? Yeah. Be evil? Sure. Do the bare minimum, complete the game as fast as you can, and then complain online? Yeah, you paid for it. Sure, let's do it. Every time you complete a game, you get something called a Rhapsody, which is a postcard you completely customize, put stickers on, and can trade with friends. It even includes a little photo that you take in-game. You can even do challenge runs to spice it up. Keep doing runs, play, a lot of game good, a purchase. So let's sum it up before the quiz. You are a farm animal. There's a button that makes you scream. You can beat up strangers or make friends with them. You have to save the world, reunite your family, do some cool stuff, complete some challenges, I don't know, mess around a little bit, get a reward, do it again. That's basically it. Tales of Tuscany. This is the game ever, coming out on PC, consoles, and mobile in 2026. Go wishlist the game on Steam or I will go broke and I will have to get a job cleaning sewers. There's no other job I can do. It has to be that one, so. That was pretty cool editing, right? Yeah, it's a mobile game, I tricked you. Okay, so anyways, this is called Gooby Garden. You basically just get to have these little freaks, and they're called goobies. You hatch them from eggs, they can be rare and have good stats. Decorate your room that they live in. Content changes every month, it changes with the seasons and holidays, it's fun. You can play every day. You can make them fight each other. It's a free game, you could play it anywhere on your phone. I think you could just look at this little freak's face, and that's enough advertising. Don't you want to own this thing? If you sign up for our email list at gooby.garden, we're doing a public beta soon, and the game should be out on Android and iOS later this year. Alright, thanks guys. Anyways, how's your day going?
Turn break! Double, triple break! That did some serious damage! Tidal triumph! Turn break! Double break!
Turn break.
Stories of Somnia was one that took me by complete surprise. I love its 2D aesthetic, and I really wanted to show it off, hence why some of you might recall seeing it alongside many of the genre staples during the release date trailer for the presentation. Next up, we've got even more games to share, a lot of which are from developers that you may recognize from previous Direct presentations, or perhaps are developers that have already put out games that are working on new projects, or games that just look cool. Speaking of which, before we dive into the next section, we do have something to showcase from one of our sponsored partners who have helped to make this Direct possible. Crazy Goat Games are the developers behind Tamer Town, a city building and management monster taming game, and have a new title to showcase that will exist within the same universe, but with a twist. Let's check them out. Again, special thanks to Crazy Go Games, in part for sponsoring the Direct, and now back to even more Monster Taming games.
Hi, welcome to our first developer showcase. I'm Fred from Voidling Bound's development team. We're happy to showcase for you today a first look at our most creative and intriguing feature in Voidling Bound. Let's dive into the splicing station. Splicing enables you to mix and match your entire Voidling collection together, giving you the power to craft your very own, fully customized Voidling specimen. Splicing makes use of genes, which are categorized in 4 main branches: morphology and modules, to customize your looks and stats, and abilities and perks, but we'll get to the specifics of those two later. In the morphology tab, you can access the genes from all your different Voidlings to change their body color, eyes, patterns, and even their size. Next are modules. Modules can now be customized individually from all the body parts acquired in your species evolution tree. Always wanted to craft a Gillick with a draconic tail and say a cryofin? Not a problem anymore. And for the big finale, abilities and perks is where you really get to customize your gameplay experience beyond just looks. From this view, I can handpick through all the different variations of my Voidling's abilities, creating new synergies and playstyle for your Voidling. I can also change the elemental alignment of each abilities individually, dual-wielding elements for encounters against multiple enemy factions. Last but not least, you get to decide from up to 3 mutated perks from all your Voidlings. Mutated perks are interchangeable across species. Best give an example. Let's start with my plain mutated Quippic. Fire Hose will give me insane fire rate. Combine this with Frenzy for crazy movement speed. Carapin's Reservoir should trigger quite often. Gillick's Burnout Burst should be a fun addition. And my Quippic is now a running explosive critter. The possibilities are endless. And that's exactly what we want. Thank you all for being with us. We're gonna leave you today with just one more thing.
Será que poderia me dar uma mãozinha?
Hey Botmasters, meet Nova, our latest legendary bot, created by one of our own community members. Teaming up with Gym Leader Ed, we're giving away 150 gems to 3 lucky winners. All you gotta do is drop your player ID in the comments and we'll pick the winners at random. Good luck.
Hello, trainers. I'm Buddy, and today we're going to talk a little bit about our upcoming Monster Tamer roguelike deck builder, Montabi, by Monkibo Games. With Montabi, we're trying to marry the fun of leveling your monsters up and capturing new ones in battle with adding cards to your deck and putting together a powerful build. Let's take a look at how you use two Montabi to synergize with one another in order to win some fights. Today's subjects are going to be Tonki and Sago. Obviously, this is a monster tamer, so you know these guys are going to level up and evolve. If you ever see a monkey on a skateboard, that's a Tonki evolution. If you ever see a sushi zipping around, that's a Sago evolution. In Montabi, each of your monsters has their own deck. You add new abilities to that deck by leveling up, and you can switch freely between Montabi on the battle grid at any time. Now, you might be wondering, Buddy, this is the coolest skateboarding monkey I've ever seen in my entire life, but how on earth is he going to win me battles? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Tonki's gameplay revolves almost entirely around movement. He's got a ton of abilities that move him around and some abilities that pay off when he does so, just like this one, which we call Pump Up. When you use Pump Up, every time Tonki moves, he gets +1 attack. Couldn't be simpler. If you can pump up early and use his natural movement to slide around the grid, all of a sudden his punches are going to hit like a freight train. Kind of like this. Do you see what I mean? And listen, I do know what show I'm a part of, so yes, you do, in fact, tame monsters in Montabi. With a little biscuit like this one, you can add another Montabi to your crew, a salty little sushi named Sago. See, Tonki is a melee fighter. He wants to zip around the grid and do the damage. Well, Sago is the perfect complement to that. Sago drops little buff sushis all over your side of the field and has some unique abilities that lets her move her allies to pick them up. So Tonki has a lot of movement, Sago gives Tonki lots of buffs for moving. And I think you kind folks are smart enough to figure the rest out for yourselves. Anyway, I could do this all day, but unfortunately I am out of time. Please, please, please check out Montabi for yourselves on Steam today, and thank you so much to everyone at the Monster Taming Direct for letting me hang out with you guys. If you want to chat more, head on over to the Montabi Discord. Have a good one, everybody.
One of my favorite segments on Gym Leader Ed's channel is the weekly Monster Tamer News Roundup, where he covers all the latest developments in the monster taming genre. This next group of games has delivered significant news this year, including release dates, monster reveals, updates, and more.
Hello, Monster Taming Direct. Carl from Abomination here. I recently launched the Kickstarter for my new game, Abomination Monster Rifts, a monster taming roguelike where you can create and share your own monsters on Steam Workshop. Every run can have potentially infinite combinations of teams because you can use anything you can think of. And that's not all. Over 30 different indie games are lending their monsters to join the roster. Abomination has welcomed Peglin, Bug Fables, Slap City, Brotato, Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. We're taking everyone, including fellow monster tamers like Monster Sanctuary, Coromon, Cassette Beasts, and is Bugsnax a monster tamer? Well, Bugsnax is here too. I've shown off a different crossover every day on the Kickstarter, including a lot of monster tamers, so be sure to check out the campaign and get updated on the full roster. We're fully funded now, and currently working towards a stretch goal to get the game on Nintendo Switch. Oh, that reminds me, I still have to show off a new crossover today. So let's get to why I'm here in the first place.
Hi, this is Windmon, little monsters who live quietly at the bottom of your screen. They like to hunt AI. When no AI is around, they get a bit hungry. So you need to take care of them. Give them some AI prey. They'll be happy and they'll produce curious items as a thank you. You can trade those items with the picking for coins. With more coins, you can welcome new Windmon. There are many kinds. Each one is unique and makes different things. You can also use coins to buy magical machines. These machines turn simple items into better goods, bringing more coins to your little kingdom. As an idle desktop game, we understand that sometimes you spend your time on other things. Feel free to do your own work. The little suit can help you run the kingdom yourself when you're busy. Spend time with them and your Windmon will evolve, growing stronger and more productive. We hope Windmon becomes a calm friend by your side, a gentle companion for study and work. Windmon loves you. Please wishlist on Steam. Free demo on September 11.
Finally, we're getting towards the last group of games, and I'm sure many of you guys are eagerly anticipating some of what your favorite developers have to offer. Quickly before we do that though, we do have a quick word from the Monster Taming Direct's major sponsor, Valorware, the developer behind the 9th Dawn series and a longtime friend of the channel who had reached out to us simply because he wanted to support the channel. Please check out the 9th Dawn series on Steam, guys. The support seriously allows me to work less hours at my day job and spend more time at making content for you guys while still being able to support my family. The Monster Taming Direct is brought to you by today's sponsor, Valorware, aka the developer behind the 9th Dawn series, and specifically with regards to 9th Dawn Remake, a recently released and complete remake and overhaul of the original 9th Dawn that adds bigger dungeons, an updated story, enhanced action-packed combat, and more. 9th Dawn Remake features an expansive world to explore with over 45 handcrafted dungeons to conquer, the ability to hatch and raise a small army of monster pets who can fight alongside you, increase their strength and evolve them into more powerful forms, a wide array of custom options when it comes to character building, including different equipment, spells, abilities, attribute points, upgrades, and more, and even has a ton of side content to keep you busy, including a quote epic fishing minigame, a deck building minigame, tons of side quests, and a prosperity system. It's got crafting for weapons and useful items, a first person mode for a new perspective on things, and you can fully play offline. In single player mode, you got multiplayer co-op or online multiplayer co-op as well. 9th Dawn Remake is available for a plethora of platforms, including PC via Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and is running great on Switch 2, as well as even Android and iOS. Make sure to check out the 9th Dawn Steam page linked below or on your preferred platform storefront in order to support a developer that helped make Monster Taming Direct 2025 possible. Thank you so much to Valorware, and now back to the Direct. Thank you again to Valorware and Crazy Goat Games, and without further ado, let's do this.
My name is Jaron R.M. Johnson, and I'm the lead narrative designer for Coromon Rogue Planet from Tragsoft Games. We've been hard at work over the last few months, and for this year's Monster Tamer Direct, we wanted to share some exclusive, never-before-seen footage from our upcoming game. Let's start by revealing the game's premise. Coromon Rogue Planet is a unique blend of monster taming and roguelike gameplay, featuring 6 unique playable characters, each with their own unique stories and playstyles. The game picks up 6 months after the events of the first Coromon game on another one of Lua's continents, the Far Lands, an unexplored, untamed wilderness enshrouded in a strange mist. In Rogue Planet, you'll travel across the ever-shifting Far Lands, facing off against new enemies, dangerous events, and the returning threat of Crimsonite as you brave the wilderness in search of a crashed alien spaceship. You'll need the help of new friends, unique character abilities, powerful gadgets, and brand new species of Coromon. If something goes wrong on your journey, you can regroup at the Outpost, Luxalis' only safe haven in the Far Lands. Here, you can rest, recuperate, and prepare for your next expedition. For Rogue Planet, with battles at the forefront, we wanted to make them more strategic than ever before, so we decided to focus on double battles. But to do that, the first problem we had to solve was screen size. We've massively increased the amount of screen space, which has allowed us to completely redesign our UI. The new UI focuses on giving you more information than ever before. All of these details will help you navigate double battles, giving you a much more tactical battle experience. Let's dive into one of the new mechanics for Rogue Planet, dual typing. All Coromon species now have both a primary and secondary type. The combination of both types results in 6 levels of effectiveness for a Coromon skills. Dual typing also helps to make every Coromon feel totally unique from the rest of the roster. And this is a big deal for Rogue Planet, which adds 21 new Coromon. In Coromon Rogue Planet, we're completely redesigning the way Crimsonite works. Now, every Coromon, even your own, can become infected by Crimsonite. Crimsonite Coromon no longer simply lose their type. Instead, they gain a helpful shield, allowing them to reduce damage on each incoming hit. Weak attacks won't break through the shield, and it regenerates on every hit. So if you're fighting Crimsonite Coromon, you're going to need to apply some clever tactics if you want to win, especially since this time around, you'll be facing off against some creatures that aren't even Coromon. We've got a lot to reveal in the coming months, so if you want to see more, be sure to wishlist Coromon Rogue Planet on Steam, follow us on our socials, and join our Discord. I'll see you in the Far Lands.
And with that, guys, the 4th annual Monster Taming Direct is coming to a close. All in all, this has been a pretty big year for the channel and the monster taming genre as a whole. We've got more and more people looking at what once was a tiny niche community than ever before, and I'm glad that I can be a part of it. We hit 100,000 subscribers this year. The Direct has had the most applications of any. We got franchises like Digimon, Shin Megami Tensei, Dragon Quest Monsters, and plenty of others that have seen major spikes in both game sales and interest over the last few years, and honestly, I think this is just the beginning. All that being said, no matter what, I will always remember and do my best to keep pushing the indie developers in the genre that are what kickstarted this monster taming boom that we're currently seeing. The bigger studios creating games in the space definitely will help the next wave of indie monster taming titles, but in all reality, it was these developers, many of which were present today, that showed the various game studios that monster taming is something to take seriously. I'll keep pushing Monster Tamer news, the Monster Taming Games You Never Knew segment, the various game showcase videos, and and of course this Monster Taming Direct in order to further legitimize and uplift a genre that for a long time was, and in some parts still is, in the shadow of a megalith of a franchise. All of this is to say that I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I hope that you guys will continue to watch my channel as you've done for the almost 6 years that I've been putting out steady monster taming content. Thank you guys for all the support. It really does mean a lot. I also just want to say to all the developers that were present at today's Monster Taming Direct and all of the developers that applied, thank you guys so much for continuing to provide us all with games to play and enjoy, and specifically for me, content to cover. Without the developers, there would be no monster taming genre, so please, like I said earlier guys, make sure to wishlist any of the games that you found interesting, share these games with your friends, purchase them when they come out, and play them. Also, just wanted to say special thanks to my friend Barry Bandit, who not only helped with introducing some of these segments today for you guys, but also behind the scenes. You can check out his channel linked below. Also, special thanks to Bisloba, the artist behind my avatar. Her page is linked below as well, and everyone else who I've worked and interacted with over the years to make this channel what it is today. And now guys, I'll leave you with just one last trailer.